Tim Sherwood claims Igor Tudor looks lost as Tottenham boss with the reality of the Premier League setting in. Former Tottenham striker Jermaine Defoe has admitted that relegation would be disastrous for Tottenham Hotspur, warning that the club now faces a genuine fight to stay in the Premier League. Gary Lineker has urged Tottenham Hotspur to consider reappointing Harry Redknapp as the club battles to avoid relegation. And former Spurs striker Teddy Sheringham also believes Harry Redknapp would keep things simple if he were appointed interim manager at Tottenham Hotspur. Here are your daily Tottenham news headlines. Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name's Craig and here are your daily Tottenham news headlines where I'll be going through all the latest news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube and are not already as yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. And please make sure you turn on the notification bell so you get notified whenever we go live or upload a video to the channel. Okay, let's get into it. The Mirror report that Tim Sherwood claims that Igor Tudor looks lost as Tottenham Hotspur boss with the reality of the Premier League setting in as he begins to air excuses for the team's poor displays despite being adamant they would be able to avoid the drop. The North Londoners haven't picked up a point since the Croatian came in to replace Thomas Frank with the team in freefall. They have lost all 3 games he's taken charge of with very little by the way of positives to hold on to. Sherwood played for and managed Spurs and believes that Tudor already looks stunned by challenges he faces in the Premier League. The ex-Spurs player told Sky Sports, "I think he's been slapped straight in the face by the competition in the Premier League. It ain't easy. This is a tough competition. He looks lost at times on the touchline. He knew nothing about it." Tottenham have been beaten by Arsenal, Fulham and Crystal Palace since their change of manager. It was the defeat to the Eagles last week that saw the fans leaving in their thousands by half-time as their disillusion and frustration appeared to peak. Tottenham are by far the worst performing team in the top flight at present. They are without a win in the league in 2026 and a run of 11 games that has seen them lose 7 and draw 4. As a result, they now sit just a point above the bottom 3, with Sherwood noticing that Tudor seems to have changed his tune. He's gone from 100% guarantee we spend next season in the Premier League to the players are not fit enough, we're not good enough in attack, we're not good enough in the middle, we're not good at the back. We need our injured players back to fitness, claimed Sherwood. You've got to get on with what you've got. Forget all that nonsense. Concentrate on the players who are fit at the moment and try to give them a lift. You don't get that new manager bounce by having a stick and whacking them with it. Not if the downside looks like relegation. You have to give them a cuddle. You have to find the best solution. You have to give them an easy solution to how we're going to play. This is how we play. Former Tottenham Hotspur striker Jermaine Defoe has admitted that relegation would be disastrous for Tottenham Hotspur, warning that the club now faces a genuine fight to stay in the Premier League. Speaking to Sunsport, Defoe said dropping out of the top flight would be catastrophic for a club of Spurs' size and stature, pointing to the scale of the club's infrastructure and expectations. It would be catastrophic, to be fair, if the club got relegated, he said. A massive club like Tottenham, you look at the infrastructure and everything that comes with it. Defoe explained that he understands the pressures players face at both ends of the table, having experienced battles for titles and battles for survival during his career. While chasing trophies brings its own intensity, he believes the pressure of a relegation fight can feel very different, especially for players who have never experienced it before. I've been in both situations, of course. The pressure of trying to win the league or finish in the top 4 is huge, he said. But when you are in the bottom and you have not been in that situation before, it is a different type of pressure. It's going to be tough. The former England international insists that Spurs squad must quickly show the fight and resilience required to survive if results do not improve. The players have got that, Defoe said. If they didn't, then they wouldn't have reached this level in the first place. But you need fight about you in these situations, and if you've got it, you've got to find it, because it's going to be difficult. The reality is, if you're in a relegation fight, if you're not going to win games and the teams around you start picking up results, then you're in trouble. Defoe also pointed to the strange contrast between Tottenham's European ambitions and their domestic struggles, while highlighting injuries as a major factor behind their difficult campaign. It's like one extreme to another, he added. The Champions League is massive for the football club, but at the same time, I would love to say Tottenham are not in a relegation fight, but they are. The club hasn't really experienced this before, and these players probably haven't either. They are some top players in that squad, but the injuries this season have been huge. Getting some of those players back before the end of the season will be key to helping them win games. Defoe also warned that Tottenham's rivals at the bottom are improving, singling out the progress made by West Ham United under Nuno Espirito Santo. He said, when I look at West Ham, they have improved so much under Nuno. They have got a bit of fight, they've got a bit of spirit and momentum now. Leeds United are the same, and Notts Forest are the same. Gary Lineker has now come out and urged Tottenham Hotspur to consider reappointing Harry Redknapp as the club battles to avoid relegation. The North London side sit just 1 point above the drop zone, of course, and face a daunting trip to Liverpool in their next Premier League fixture. Pressure is mounting on interim boss Igor Tudor after 3 consecutive defeats since he took charge, and Lineker believes Spurs may need to make another managerial change and has suggested turning to a familiar face who understands the club and the demands of the Premier League. According to the former England striker, Tottenham need a strong personality capable of lifting morale during the crisis, and he believes Redknapp fits the bill. Speaking on the Rest is Football podcast, Lineker said, I honestly still don't think it would be a bad idea to bring in someone like Harry Redknapp. Not someone like him, Harry Redknapp. I know it sounds a bit mad and he's been out of the game for a while, but you know what? He's like that big personality, can lift everybody when he walks in. Lineker compared the potential impact to the work of Martin O'Neill at Celtic, where the experienced manager has previously steadied this club during difficult periods. I mean, it's a moment of crisis, a little bit like Martin O'Neill has done on a couple of occasions at Celtic, and he lifted them, he added. The thought of Tottenham going down. Former Spurs boss Tim Sherwood has also been mentioned as a possible option, having previously indicated he would find it difficult to turn down the chance to return to the club. Meanwhile, Sean Dyche has been linked with the job as well, a potential twist given Nottingham Forest are among Tottenham's main rivals for relegation. The club's ownership, led by Joe Lewis family through ENIC Group, now face a major decision over whether to stick with Tudor or make another drastic change as the threat of relegation looms. Teddy Sheringham believes Harry Redknapp would keep things simple if he were appointed interim manager at Tottenham Hotspur. Sheringham suggested Redknapp could quickly get the side functioning again by focusing on the basics and restoring structure to the team. According to the former striker, Redknapp's strength lies in putting players in their natural positions and allowing them to play with freedom. Sheringham argued that the experienced manager has always known how to get the best out of his squads and instill confidence in his players. Speaking to TalkSport, Sheringham said, I would put Harry Redknapp in there and just say, Harry, just get our team ticking, get them in their right positions and just tell them to go out and play the way he does. He always gets teams ticking. He always gets his team playing in the right manner, playing football in the right manner with confidence. Sheringham added that what Spurs need right now is someone capable of delivering immediate results, which means keeping things straightforward rather than overcomplicating tactics. Redknapp, he believes, is well suited to that approach. While the football may not always be the most eye-catching, Sheringham feels it would be effective. He also suggested Redknapp could generate the kind of short-term bounce that current boss Igor Tudor has so far failed to produce, particularly given Redknapp's deep understanding of both the club and the league. Sheringham even floated the idea that Redknapp could assemble a familiar coaching setup for the remainder of the season, potentially bringing in former Spurs figures Jermaine Defoe and Tim Sherwood to help steer the club to safety. Okay, here's my thoughts on all those stories today. I'll probably do it all in one, really. All very similar news stories out there today than media, as you would imagine, and they're going to be like this for the next few weeks, just totally jumping on Spurs. People are going to love it if we get relegated, let's be honest. And I did hear last night, actually, funny enough, well, it's not funny, but you know what I mean, if Spurs were relegated in the season that Arsenal win the title, Spurs going down would actually be bigger news, which would be mental to think about, wouldn't it? But anyway, look, let's not think about it, although it is constantly on our minds, of course. Firstly, Tim Sherwood on Igor Tudor. I have to agree with him, what he's saying here. He does look like a rabbit in the headlights, really. I feel a bit sorry for Igor Tudor. He's come into this job probably told something completely different than what the reality is. I do wonder where Vinay and Johan found Tudor from. Guarantee both of them have probably hardly ever heard of him or never heard of him at all. It's probably Paratici that suggested this guy. I think we all know that anyway, because I just can't see that either of those would have hired him off their own back. I think it's about time that these two listen to the fan base. You know my thoughts on the pair of them and Enoch. Let this club down badly. It's been absolutely horrendous. First season with Daniel Levy not at the helm, it's just got worse. Do they listen to the fan base? I think they should. I think majority of the majority of the fan base, obviously I don't know. X is really the only place that you can go and get people's views and opinions, or certainly the biggest place. And it's not the best place in the world, is it? Let's be honest. But I'd say a lot of the fan base think that Tudor was perhaps the wrong appointment. We all want to get behind him, of course, but I don't know. I just can't see it working under him. I really hope I'm wrong. I would have preferred somebody to come in like a Redknapp, like a Sherwood, like a Defoe, like a King, or a team of them, or whoever it is. Somebody that know, or people that know the club. I think a lot of us wanted that. And again, the club haven't listened. They think they know best, and it could bite them on the bum, because if this goes wrong or continues to go wrong under Tudor now, obviously 3 games, you give him the North London derby, absolutely, because that was always going to be a tough game. But Fulham away and certainly Palace at home. Certainly Palace at home. That was the game that we needed to pick up points in, and of course we didn't. We've looked terrible so far, and I would argue, and I've said this in videos before, that Tudor likes to play 3 at the back. We didn't have 3 fit centre-backs. I don't know why you persist in playing 3 centre-backs when you haven't got 3 centre-backs to pick from, and shoehorning players in like Pedro Porro at right centre-back. Never going to work. Gallagher on the right wing looks lost, Many more examples of that, of course. And for me, Defoe, talking about it, obviously ex-striker of ours twice over, Tottenham fan, concerned, Gary Lineker as well, Teddy Sheringham, all come out and pretty much said the same thing. Hire Harry Redknapp. Now, people would argue, Harry's too old, he's 80 next year. This is for 9 games. Harry Redknapp would bring in, for me, just keep it simple, like Gary Lineker said, like Sheringham said. People think he's too old to do it. He hasn't managed for 10 years. He was a manager for many, many years before that. You say the game's changed. This is 9 games. This is still football. I think Harry could do a job. Personally, I would be more than happy to see Harry Redknapp come in. Put it this way. If you had a choice between Igor Tudor and Harry Redknapp, who are you going for? I mean, there's probably other managers out there, isn't there? But really and realistically, who is out there? Who is out there that would instill confidence in you as a fan? If you go down with Harry Redknapp, would that feel any better than going down with Tudor? I don't know. I just think we're heading one way under Igor Tudor, and I hate saying that. Another managerial change, and after 3 games, it just seems ridiculous to say that. But desperate times calls for desperate measures, and yes, Harry's got a horse running at Cheltenham this week, so you might want to see that first. But look, this Champions League game this week is almost like a a hindrance. And I never thought I'd say that about a Champions League match. So sad that it's come to this. But for me, I think Spurs do have to make a change. Now, whether that is Redknapp or whether it's somebody else, Tim Sherwood's name, as I say, has been mentioned a fair bit. But I just think it's getting to that time where Spurs need to make a change, because I can only see it going one way under Tudor, and I really hope I'm wrong. But yeah, these are not good times. We must start picking up some points, and quickly. We can get out of this. We've still got 9 games left, 27 points to play for, but we need to start picking up points. Liverpool way is going to be tough next league game, of course, but then comes the crunch one against Nottingham Forest, and if we don't get something against them, then we're really in trouble. We are really in trouble. Oh dear, Tottenham Hotspur, what a team. What a team. Anyway, get down in the comments, let me know your feelings as a Tottenham Hotspur fan and about any of those stories I've spoken about today. And as always, come on you Spurs.